guys, it's Glitch, and I'm just gonna apologize because I forgot that it was Friday. It totally slipped my mind, so this is gonna have to be a really rushed video, and I'm gonna have to keep track of how many songs that I'm going through manually, and it's my fault, and I apologize, and my eyes are like super red because I've had a really messed up sleep schedule, and I'm trying so hard to get back on it. But anyway, that's nothing to do with music, which is today's video. Our theme week is Play That Music. And, let's get started. What's first? Honey Pie by the Beatles. I used to listen to the Beatles religiously back in my early days of college and high school. I was so obsessed with them, and they're so awesome. I mean, like, who doesn't love it? Well, I know several people who don't love the Beatles, but honestly, I mean, they're too awesome. Alleluia by Steve Ivey, but this is from one of my Celtic CDs, and I love Celtic. I love getting into it, and it's good background stuff, and it's really just refreshing to listen to, and some of it, since it doesn't have any lyrics, it's just kind of relaxing. What's next? The Doctor and I by John Barrowman. This is actually... He mostly doesn't sing his own stuff. John Barrowman usually sings stuff from like musicals and movies and covers and stuff, but this is one he actually wrote based off of his Doctor Who character, Jack Harkness. So, next. Come on. Let It Die by 3 Days Grace. Now, I used to listen to 3 Days Grace. It was kind of part of my angsty music when I was in high school, that and like Disturbed and Rammstein and System of a Down and all of them. And I kind of actually started recently getting back into 3 Days Grace because I hadn't listened to that stuff since high school, but I kind of miss it a little. And next is New Arrival, which is from the Corpse Bride soundtrack, and I loved that. I still love that movie, but I loved it when it came out, and I loved it a lot. I thought it was amazing when I saw it, but I told one of my friends, she wanted me to tell her how it was, and I told her it was amazing, so she went and saw it, and apparently she didn't like the ending. And at school the next day, she came up to me and slapped me across the face because she hated it, so I know. I still love it. And then we have Joyride by Roxette. And Roxette is one of those 80s bands that I don't think anyone really remembers, but my brother used to listen to them all the time and then got me into it, and I don't really listen to him so much anymore, but I'm actually kind of glad we have to go through all of our music, because half of this stuff I forgot that I had, so that's kind of cool, because I forgot I had that song, but it's good. Another Beatles one, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, which is sung by George Harrison, and I'm not really sure why he wrote that one, but because I used to know like almost everything about the Beatles, but it's a really nice song, and I think it has a lot of covers too. And we have another one called Sea of Monsters, but this is from their, what movie? Oh yeah, their Yellow Submarine soundtrack from their movie, which was an animated movie. But unfortunately, they didn't do their own character voices, but it was still a really good movie. And we have another Beatles one from their White Album, which is my favorite, called Happiness is a Warm Gun. Kind of a depressing one, but it's still really good. And this is kind of one of my guilty pleasure songs. I'm kind of embarrassed to have it, but Fat Lip by Sum 41, and you might not recognize it by its title, but look it up and listen to it, and you'll recognize it almost instantly. It's kind of one of those really, like, 90s one-hit wonders that you kind of forgot existed. I'm kind of embarrassed to have it, but I still love that song. And Stranger Eyes by The Cars. Now, The Cars are kind of, not really another guilty pleasure, but because I'm not ashamed, but they're one of those bands that they have a ton of really popular songs, but like no one knows who did the song. And then I was kind of one of those people. I'm sorry, a bunch of cat hair. Thor. Oh, he's asleep, he doesn't care. But they were one of those that yeah, like I said, they had a ton of songs that no one knew, and I was one of those people that, like, I was like, oh, it was The Cars that dealt with this stuff that I used to listen to and like. And another John Barrowman one called My Eyes Adored You, which I don't know who came out with that originally, but he does a really good job of it. Ah, cat! And another one by the Cars called I Refuse, which isn't really one of my favorites, but what can you do? And another Beatles one. If you haven't noticed, there's a lot of, there's a pattern to the stuff that I like, but this one's Dear Prudence, which is a really good Beatles song. And I think lastly, we have Sheep by Pink Floyd. Ah, something out of the pattern. Of course, Sheep. Pink Floyd, I'm not really fond of the song, but Pink Floyd is one of my top favorite bands, and I don't really listen to them so much anymore, but they're still really awesome. I think that's all the songs that I need, and again, I'm really sorry for this being such a late rushed video, but I totally forgot about it, and that's kind of my excuse, but next week will be a better video, I promise, because I won't forget. It's been great, it's been a really great theme week, and I'll see you guys next week.